London just ate spaghetti.
I just ate lasagna, you fucking fool.
What's the difference?
They're both Garfield. Hey everybody, welcome to Screen Weens, episode 138.
Wow.
Thanks to all the grandmas out there listening.
Thanks to all 319 subscribers.
18. It went down, baby.
Oh.
We were jumping up, and then we stagnated. Then we went down a little bit. And then we're, stagnated again. But, we just need one more hit. The problem is we work and we're tired, so we can't really make anything. Yeah. So we just come, we talk for an hour, and then we go home. Mm-hmm. And, that's all Screen Weens is. It's an excuse to be able to talk to Thomas Griffin.
Yes.
But yeah, Screen Weens, it's me, London, that person, Thomas.
Hello.
We talk about movies. Mm-hmm. Today we're going to be talking about The Bag. We have a thing, for people that don't listen to the podcast, we have a thing where we roll every episode, or sometimes we just pick it, and we grab movies out of the bag, and they're just the worst movies we could think of, and we put them in there. Mm-hmm. Today we'll be watching National Lampoon Presents Endless Bummer, also known as Surf Party. Mm-hmm. And we will also be talking about Superhero Movie, starring Drake Bell.
Drake Campana?
Campana, I think?
Yeah, I don't remember. But I don't need to remember because he's irrelevant now. Not irrelevant. He should be
in prison.
Yes. Is he not?
No.
What?
He has to, pay a fine, and I think he has, 3 years of probation, but no, he didn't go. I don't think he served any time.
Well, at least his career is on hiatus.
Until Superhero Movie 2.
Yeah.
Morbius 2.
Well, I don't think Josh wants to work with him, so his big doorway back is pretty much secret.
We support Josh Peck in this. That's why next episode we're going to be watching 5 Josh Peck.
Just the Red Dawn remake 5 times.
Well, I watched a movie with him. I think it was called ATM. It was about...
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It's like an outdoor ATM thing. A weird... Is that a thing?
It's like an ATM, but it's in a building.
It's just an ATM building.
Yeah, it's like a little outlet strip mall.
The snow.
And they're in there, and then they get locked into this little
And then they escape, but then there's a guy outside with a sniper or something. And then they fill it with poison gas. I think he's just got
crowbars.
Maybe? Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And then I think he, beats the shit out of Josh Peck.
Yeah, and then it fills up with water at one point.
Yeah, they fill up with water. There's a twist at the end, I think. We should watch that movie. I'm getting rid of the direct ride shows. We're going to watch that movie 5 times.
Oh, I see.
That's someone's favorite movie.
Yeah, and so is Superhero Movie.
That's more unfortunate. ATM, I think, has a couple scenes that are, fine, from what I remember. I do not think that movie's good, from what I remember. I think it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But at least they're going for something.
Yeah.
I will say that I've never seen a movie about people being trapped in an ATM.
I haven't heard of an ATM that's behind doors.
Yeah, see?
Unless it's, in a store or something.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, maybe that is a thing. It doesn't look like they built this up. Or
well, it was, glass.
I don't...
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
But,
anyway, that's our Josh Peck tangent.
Josh Peck.
Actually, it would be very funny if there was just a Josh, reboot on, Paramount Plus, where it was just Josh and Miranda Cosgrove. It was Josh and Megan. And the first episode, they're just at Drake's funeral.
They're like Charlie Sheenum from 2.5 Men.
He just couldn't stop.
Who's a better teen icon from that, era? Jesse McCartney or something?
Nat Wolff.
Yeah. Nat Wolff came a few years later.
You're right. Jerry Trainer. He's too old.
It could just be Josh and Angry Steve.
Jerry Trainer's so delightful.
He is. He seems like a...
I honestly wish that Jerry Trainer had played Robotnik in the new Sonic movies. Because, Jim Carrey's fun in it, but, Jerry Trainer, I think, has... he needs more work.
He does.
He needs more mainstream work. He's, like, great. He's a great comedic actor.
Yeah.
He's, like, way too good for, like, Nickelodeon random television.
I agree. But I don't know if he wants to do more.
He's probably, he was on Tough Puppy for, like, 5 years or whatever. He probably got a pretty steady income from that. And then he's, like, just shows up for iCarly and just goes, like, for 20 minutes and makes, like, I don't know.
10 grand.
Probably more than that.
Perhaps. Maybe.
12 grand. No.
But yeah, fucking... Yeah, I could see Jerry Trainer playing that role.
We're going to be talking about this for a while, because I don't really want to talk about superheroes. Did you watch any other movies this week, or did you do anything?
Yeah, so I continue my Star Trek binge. I don't know where I was last time.
I think you had finished Enterprise.
I finished Enterprise Season 3. You had started on... I watched the first 2 seasons of Discovery.
Did it get better? Because you were partially through season 2.
Yes,
you said it was better.
Yeah. It got better there for a little bit, but they just don't know how to write, like... I don't know. It seems like they really struggle, like, every season they're like, we gotta have a big overarching mystery. And they're really bad at, like, holding all the pieces in place for that sort of thing. So, yeah, I wasn't instilled with confidence, but it did improve that season. So I'm hoping that it's just a gradual improvement.
And by season 8, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, and then it'll be probably canceled because no Star Trek series has made it past season 7. So, but then I watched the rest of TNG season 3 and into season 4, and I'm like partway through season 4. There were some really strong episodes at the start of it, and then I hit a really bad batch, and I might be tossing in the towel for a bit, but I really want to make it a Deep Space Nine, so I might just trudge forward. But I know, like, the stuff I just watched in TNG relates heavily to Deep Space Nine, because it was the whole Best of Both Worlds, which is where Picard gets Borged and kind of launches an attack. And I know that, like, the main guy of Deep Space Nine, like, his wife, like, died in that attack or whatever. And I think it's, like, heavily involved in the pilot, from my understanding.
I want to say, it's been so long since I watched, like, any Star Trek stuff besides season 1 of...
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't even watch all of that.
No, just a handful of
I don't think I could have watched all of season 1.
Yeah, TOS and kind of every Star Trek series to a certain extent, very dated. Very dated. Even the new ones seem pretty dated. But, you know. Yeah. And then I watched, let's see, Phantom of the Paradise.
Hell yeah, I saw that. I'm like, hell yeah. Did you just watch that for fun? Did you show it to someone? Or did
you... put it on and my roommate Matt watched it, and I was genuinely surprised because he's usually a nodder, but he stayed awake through the whole thing and liked it. Wow. So Joe's just been progressively becoming more of a dad. He just, every movie we watch, he's like, I'm like, Jesus. Yeah. I feel it. I've been there before. And then I showed him The Jerk last night, and he also liked that one. That's a good movie. Yeah, after watching superhero movie and just getting terrible slapstick, I was like, I need a palate cleanser. I need to reaffirm my belief in this genre of comedy. Should have watched the Three Stooges remake. By the Farley brothers. Right?
Yeah. They're the Farley.
It's Farley?
I think so.
Oh. Oops. You're probably right. I'm terrible with names. But
you should have watched Dumb and Dumberer again.
Wow.
Show that to your roommate.
That would give me brain freeze.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that, and I watched a handful of Curb, just kind of in the background while I did stuff.
Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Mm-hmm.
Or Curb B?
Kirby Your Enthusiasm. But yeah, that was pretty much my week. How about yours?
You know, my week was pretty excellent. I watched Lurking Fear, which I messaged you about, which is an H.P. Lovecraft adaptation by Full Moon.
Is that the one that's like half an hour?
No. This one's like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. It has Jeffrey Combs in it, and it was pretty good, actually. Like, I like what it's going for. It has some slow moments. I think the ending really, like, kind of putters out. But overall, I'm like, I was engaged with it. Yeah. Music was pretty good. It wasn't a Richard Band soundtrack. So it wasn't as, like, comfy, but it was like, oh, this is pretty good. I'm like, I didn't even know they could hire other musicians. Right. But it was pretty good. And then I watched a movie called It Knows You're Alone, which was from last year. It was like 45 minutes long. It's a Full Moon movie. It looks like it was filmed on a phone, which isn't a bad, like, I think, you know, Soderbergh makes actual movies on phones. Sean Baker does too. Like, you can make movies on phones. So I was like, yeah, this looks pretty bad. There were a couple interesting editing choices, like, in the last, like, 20 minutes. But overall, it was just complete garbage.
Yeah.
Real bad. But I like what that idea that it was just like, yeah, Full Moon just funded this, like, random no-budget movie from a random person. I'm like, that's what they should be doing. Like, random creatives. Do that.
Right.
Then I watched a movie called Choose or Die, which is a new movie with Asa Butterfield in it. And Robert Englund voices himself. It's rough. Real bad. It's like it's about like a haunted, like, choose your own adventure, like, text-based game from, like, it's supposed to be like an 80s computer game.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, if you don't choose, you die. And it's like, oh, you gotta choose for your mom to be eaten by a giant rat. I'm like, it's, yeah, it was real bad. And I feel like the worst part is it had no idea what the fuck it wanted the tone to be. Every single scene in that movie had a different tone. Like, every single one. It was rough.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was bad. Bad. But then, next day, folding laundry. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking watch another Full Moon movie. I'm going crazy. So I watched a Ted Nicolau movie. That Subspecies guy.
What Full Moon director did you pick? I can feel it.
I did not.
Full Moon high.
Nope, it wasn't.
Okay.
But I watched a movie called Don't Let Her In from last year. About, like, a woman who's like a demon. She, like, stays with some people. She's like, apparently it's pretty similar to Rosemary's Baby. Haven't seen that movie, but I've seen Ted Nicolau movies. It was pretty good. Same kind of thing. Like, some of it looks pretty good for a Full Moon movie, but it also looks like they had a kind of cheap camera. But Ted Nicolau's like a good director, I would even say. And I actually, Richard Band did the music, so I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, Ted Nicolau, Richard Band, let's fucking go.
Damn.
And the actors in it are all things, like, from nothing. Like, they've been in nothing. So they were actually pretty good. They were, like, relatively... It was overall just, like, a better production than I expected.
Yeah.
And it was, like, an hour and a minute. So even at that length, I feel like it would have been maybe better 45 minutes. I think it drags a little bit for what it's trying to, like, accomplish. But it was pretty good.
Okay. Huh.
So I was getting surprised throughout the week with, like, hey, these are pretty good. But then, I watched the new Nicolas Cage movie, baby.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
Fucking delightful. I loved it. Like, I loved it. It was so much fun. It was so funny. You know, you probably won't like it as much as me. I feel like you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
But Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal are so good together. And I just love watching Nick Cage act, especially in this role, because it's just kind of really weird. He has, like, another version of himself living in his head that's like his idealized like rock star, like movie star persona that he wants to be. And it has like really weird CG on his face that makes him look like plastic. But I actually like that because like, yeah, this makes sense. But yeah, I loved it. At one point, he asked Pedro Pascal's character like what his favorite movies are. And number 3 is Paddington 2. And he's like, what? Paddington 2? And number 2 had been Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. He's like, how do you get from there? And he's like, it's just so fucking, I cry every time I watch it. And they're like, no way. And then they watch it. And it just cuts to Nick Cage just crying, going like, Paddington 2 is fucking amazing. And it's just very fun. I had a lot of fun with that movie. And then double feature, we watched The Northman right after that. Which I thought was fucking ruled as well.
Yeah, I want to see it, but I'm probably going to have to wait like a week or two because I'm broke.
Yeah, I got Me Too, but we're still on Regal Unlimited right now, so. But I thought it was really fucking good.
Yeah.
Alexander Skarsgård in it. He's like so fucking jacked. He's like, and Ethan Hawke's great. Just everyone is really, really good. It looks incredible. Especially some of the later scenes. I feel like it's probably the most approachable for wide audiences for Eggers movie as well. But that's not necessarily a bad thing for this. It was just a good story. Good Anya Taylor-Joy. What a joy.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is what I watched this week. I haven't really watched anything the last couple of days. Just been playing some board games and working a lot. So, But yeah, and then of course we watched Superhero Movie and Endless Bummer.
We did. I didn't. No, I didn't.
And I think we have some questions today. So let's jump into that.
Oh wow.
I think we do.
Big comeback for Pierre.
Nope, no questions from Pierre.
Never mind.
One question from Joe.
Oh.
What if you opened the door and there were 17 anteaters?
I mean, I'd be like, hey guys, I don't have any ants, but you can do a sweep through real quick and just double check. And they probably wouldn't understand me because they're anteaters.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna give you some movie trivia questions real quick.
Oh.
I'm gonna give you 5.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Who played juror number 8 in 12 Angry Men?
I don't know.
It's Henry Fonda. It's the main character.
Damn. Okay.
What TV show was Jack Nicholson referencing when he ad-libbed Here's Johnny in The Shining?
The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson?
Oh my god, you're so smart.
Wow.
Okay. In what 1976 thriller does Robert De Niro famously say, "You talking to me"?
Oh, gee. I think that one's called A Taxi Driver. No, I know it's Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver's a better movie, though.
I haven't, to be fair, I haven't rewatched Taxi Driver in probably like 15 years.
I haven't watched it in like probably 6. But last time I watched it, I wasn't too hot on it. Maybe I need to reevaluate, though.
But I'm inclined to agree just based off memory.
Okay, this is about what is the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time? It also happens to be your favorite movie of all time.
Wait, hold on. That can't be true because my favorite movie of all time is not rated R.
Maybe you're not thinking of the right favorite movie of all time.
I mean, I assume I'm gonna hate this movie based off your little cackle over there. But, I could probably think of it. Hold on. R-rated movies. Is it like, I don't know, Green Inferno?
No, it's Joker, baby.
Oh, it's Joker. I forgot that movie was rated R.
I forgot that movie existed.
I mean, I don't think about it very often. Yeah.
All right, last question for you. Which 1927 war drama was the first movie to ever win Best Picture?
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a multiple choice.
No, come on.
1927.
1927. Come on.
Is it Napoleon?
No, it's Wings.
Yeah, I didn't know. I took a shot in the dark. I think is Napoleon from 1927?
Let's see. Napoleon is, from 1927. You got that right. Woo! A couple of weeks ago, I almost picked Napoleon. Because it's like 6 hours long.
Yeah. I've always wanted to watch it. I've just never mustered the courage to.
I'll probably eventually will pick it.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for the questions, Joe, and Random Movie Trivia Site. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about superhero movie. So have you seen Spider?
So
I think I'm most irritated at this movie because I don't actually mind the first 10 minutes of this movie too much. It's mostly just Spider-Man.
I was gonna say,
but maybe it's because it's just Spider-Man. But the jokes in it aren't maybe super offensive or gaudy or anything. This beginning part, I'm like, this is fine. This is much better than I expected.
I can,
and it also had a better it was sticking to its framework. While you look at something like the Starving Games or Epic Movie, and they'll just literally cut to a skit, and that's and they'll forget about their central story.
I do agree, but I do think it's a little unearned considering that the structure that they do have is literally just copied.
Sam Raimi, yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah. I can safely say I didn't laugh once during this whole thing.
I did chuckle, and I don't remember where. But there were a couple times I'm like, that's so fucking stupid.
There was one point where I had a little serotonin boost, and that was the part where he was like, "You're not my father," and he's like, "No, but I loved you like your father. And I also fucked your mother like your father." And that part, it's like, okay. I was like, But, yeah.
And the only jokes I liked are the stupid kind of harmless ones. When there's the portrait of the dude and it's just him behind the glass window. Mm-hmm. I didn't laugh, but I'm like, that's I wouldn't mind the movie if it was just stupid jokes like that.
Mm-hmm.
But instead it's just let's be the worst.
Yeah, let's have a bunch of
Yo, you're being
sexual
DDoSed
assault
right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sexual assault. There's in the first 10 minutes of the first time I rolled, as soon as he gets on the bus, they're just being transphobic. Cool.
Yeah. There's that whole H209 bit with the animals.
Yeah, that was what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a strange little part. The stuff that people that era found funny, I guess. Which, I mean, I was a kid. I loved these spoof movies when I was a kid. And then I remember progressively, as they came out, I teetered off more and more. Because I remember Epic Movie was the first one where I was like, I don't think that one was as good as the other ones. But then Disaster Movie came out and gaslit me. I was like, actually, Epic Movie is actually pretty good compared to Disaster Movie. And I didn't watch a single fucking one after Disaster Movie because it was just it wasn't a movie. It was just references. So I'm glad I wasn't here when you guys watched it for the little movie club thing.
Yeah, we watched the start. And it's weird because, they liked it. And I'm like, I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's just no.
Maybe we're just not funny.
I mean, maybe, but I may not be funny, but I think I have a good sense of humor for myself, and that movie was not it. But yeah, so superhero movie follows
the Dragonfly.
Yeah, Rick Riker. The only reason I remember that is because I think that they were subtly trying to put a Star Trek reference, because Brett or Brent, I don't know which one it is. Brett Spiner, the guy who plays Data in The Next Generation, plays the lab assistant to the bad guy in this movie.
Yeah, I feel like most of the movie I was just like, I wish this person was in a better movie.
Yeah.
Brett Spiner's in a lot of bad movies, though.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But aside from Patrick Stewart, I don't know if any of TNG's cast really went on to do anything.
LeVar Burton had Reading Rainbow.
That's true. And I guess Will Wheaton was on The Big Bang Theory.
He's got his game. Will Wheaton's like pretty big.
Will Wheaton's pretty...
But for other things, like for his YouTube career.
Yeah, he's big, but I feel like even the people who like him always like approach him with and yes, it's Will. You know.
That's Will. Will, you can be on our podcast.
Yeah, you can
play some board games.
I'll talk Star Trek with you.
It's so funny because Will Wheaton has one of the biggest like board game shows.
Does he really?
Well, he did. It was like tabletop or whatever, and I just couldn't stand it. I was like, I love watching people play board games, but sometimes like when I watch someone, I just like maybe I would enjoy these like types of like quips and stuff in real life, but there are some things that just I cannot stand when I watch like videos. I'm like, I just want you to play, or I just want you to make better jokes.
Yeah, I feel it. Will Wheaton, sadly, not in superhero movie.
That's true. But you know who is?
Stephen Hawking. Almost.
That was not Stephen Hawking. Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of bad movies too, though.
He was.
Like, he's a pretty good comedic actor when he wants to be, when he has good material, but like...
Naked Gun is, like, hilarious.
Never seen it. I've seen, like, bits of it, though, and they're good. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, he was rough in this. Everyone's just kind of rough in this.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart's pretty good, though.
I mean,
Kevin Hart's actually not, like, the worst. Maybe it's just because, like, the first thing we immediately see is Drake Bell, and he's, like, awful. He's, like, really bad in this movie. Yeah. And Kevin Hart's, like, actually, like, you know, emoting. So I was like, whoa, look at Kevin Hart go!
Drake Bell's doing his, like, Timmy Turner, like, I'm gonna talk up here so everyone thinks I'm younger. And it's just like, I mean, I guess it's a comedy or whatever, but I don't know. I didn't find it funny and I didn't find it effective, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, Drake Bell is awful in this movie. It just felt like another path or another stone on his path to trying to play Spider-Man. Which thankfully
he did.
He never got a live action role.
That's true.
Because I could easily see had maybe the Spider-Man bubble popped a little sooner or a little later. I could see Sony executives going like, yeah, Drake Bell from Drake and Josh.
Oh yeah, brother.
Yeah, we're gonna have Josh play Doc Ock.
Not like Harry or anything. Doc Ock.
Yeah, Doc Ock.
No, Megan. Miranda Cosgrove should have played Doc Ock.
Well, she would play fucking
Big Wheel.
Yeah, or Tombstone.
Jerry Trainer can play the Green Goblin.
Who else? And he can also play Harry Osborn, because why not? He can play both Green Goblins and both Osborns. But, yeah. So I guess the basic plot of this movie is he gets bit by Dragonfly. He becomes Dragonfly, but he doesn't have wings. And he gets made fun of by Tom Cruise for it. Yeah, what are those random fucking just like...
They're like, hey, what's a popular YouTube video right now? Let's just parody that.
Not even, because they made fun of Tom Cruise in Scary Movie 4, which came out, I'm pretty sure, before this. And I think they have a tendency, like, if a joke lands in one movie, after a certain point, they're like, let's reference it in the next movie. 'Cause we're just references, right?
Let's start self-referencing to our own parodies.
Yes.
Until it just starts absorbing into itself.
Yes. Well, yeah, so he gets bit by Dragonfly. Meanwhile, Harry Osborn guy, who's... I can never remember that actor's name, but he's in lots of stuff. He's like the bad guy in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, which I like him as, like, villains in comedic roles. So I was actually like, hey, this is a good pick.
And he was in an episode of Star Trek that I watched. He tried to hook up with Tasha Yar, not knowing that she dies. In the timeline that they weren't.
Christopher McDonald.
Yes.
He plays Norman Osborn, as in Lou Landers.
Lou Landers. But yeah, so Lou Landers is dying. He's got an hour to live, but he does this experimental thing, and now if he touches someone, he can drain them of their life force. He's got this big plan to go steal this
Waxlium or something.
Yeah, some made-up element and a bunch of people's souls in the meantime, which would make him immortal. So Dragonfly's got to stop him because his girlfriend's at that convention or something. And yeah, then he saves the day. I don't remember what he does. Oh yeah, he catches a diamond cutter on his crotch and sticks it in Tom McDonald's face and it blows up.
But he's fine.
Yeah, but he's fine. His crotch is fine too, presumably. But,
and then the blast throws Mary Jean, whatever her name is in this movie, off and he has to jump after her, and because he's being a true hero, he grows his wings.
I thought it was because he found love. That's what the song says. Your love lifts me up.
You're right. Well, that's what being a true hero is.
Yes.
If you're not in love, you're not a hero. You're a villain.
That's true. That's true. That's how Jokers are made.
True. Batman.
Yeah. I think that this is a piss poor parody. I think it could have maybe gone up a tick had they maybe branched out beyond just being a Spider-Man parody.
Yeah. They went to the X-Mansion.
Yeah.
And then just didn't...
There's Wolverine!
Hey, look! Professor X is fucking an invisible woman. It's like, what the fuck?
And all of his kids are bald and
it's like, you could... I guess... You can't even make the argument that there wasn't a lot of superheroes because you have the X-Men trilogy, you have Fantastic Four, you have Blade, you have a Hulk movie.
Yeah, no, there was no
Hulk, I don't think. I don't remember.
I'd say that there were more superheroes in Disaster Movie than there was in this one, which I guess that came out a year later when Iron Man had maybe rooted itself a little more. But yeah, it's just like such a strange decision to just have that one. And it's like, come up with a half creative story that involves all these superheroes getting together and doing something, but make it funny.
Yeah.
But nah, it's just copy paste plot of Spider-Man 1 poorly.
These movies don't really exist anymore. And like, I'm so happy because they're just so piss poor.
Yeah.
Like they're just nothing movies. They're like the bad SNL skits. Like the worst ones just tied together in like the loosest framework imaginable.
Yeah. I think it's just time to accept the fact that we're never going to get that Spaceballs to the quest for more money. It's always going to be these like, I don't think there's, I'm sure they probably still make them for like streaming services and stuff.
Well, and there are movies that it's just, you just can't do that as a sole thing without making somewhat of a like difference in your like execution. Like Spaceballs is at least different enough.
Mm-hmm. Or if you want to use maybe even like a wider example of like Shaun of the Dead. Like, I think that's a really great example.
I feel like that's the way to go. You parody a genre. You don't parody a specific movie.
Exactly, because it's like a huge homage to like the Romero films, but it's also its own thing, and it's one of the funniest fucking movies ever made.
And it's like my favorite zombie movie. Like, I like it more than the Romero zombie movies, which I know you don't.
Disagree, but I also
that's
have
fine.
Sentimental value.
But yeah, I think that movie is just, even if it wasn't funny, I would say that it was a good movie regardless.
Oh, yeah.
I like the execution of its ideas. I do think it's pretty heartfelt when it wants to be too. Mm-hmm. And these parody movies are never that. They're never like heartfelt or anything.
No, they never think about creating their own characters.
But Spaceballs does. Like, that's like, Mel Brooks did. Like, he had... he cared about his characters. He didn't care about, what's the funniest thing to do here. Yeah,
no, he used like a loose framework of like, Star Wars has like these character archetypes and this sort of a setting, so I'm gonna kind of do the same thing, and I might use some plot beats, but for the most part, it's kind of its own horse. There's no Luke Skywalker character. It's kind of blended with the Han Solo character, and fucking Barf is his own. Is that his name? Barf?
Is that?
I just remember that. It's John.
I think it's Barf.
I just remember the part where he opens the lid and he's like, it's like, who are you? Barf! And it's like, you better not. But, like, yeah, I haven't watched Spaceballs in a very long time.
Yeah, me neither. I watched that a lot as a kid, but, like, I don't think I've seen it in probably 15 years.
Yeah, I wonder if I'd even fucking find it funny today. Yeah. I think I would. I still remember.
I didn't watch Young Frankenstein until I was later in life, but I really enjoyed that one when I watched it, so I feel like probably.
Yeah, I think Mel Brooks
should have done one of the disaster movie type movies.
Yeah. He was too busy doing Spaceballs, the animated series.
Is that a thing?
That's a real thing.
Is it good?
No, it's like notoriously like really bad.
I hope you're ready because I lied to you, and next week we're actually going to be watching the rest of the Seltzer and Friedberg movies. God, I fucking...
Wow!
Meet the Spartans, super fast. Vampire Sucks or whatever.
I saw that one back in the day.
And it's like... It's so funny because Twilight is already, like, watching Twilight now, it already feels like a parody of itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny. Mm-hmm. You cannot recreate that by parodying it. It doesn't work.
No.
It's funny because they were trying. Or at least some were trying and some were... Twilight is a funny movie.
Yeah. No. Like, every time Bella walks in that classroom and Edward sits at the desk and he's
like... I can smell your cum!
It's like the most hilarious shit. And, yeah. Fucking... I laugh more at Twilight than I even thought about laughing during superhero movies, so it's like...
Plus, Twilight's got a banging soundtrack.
And the baseball scene.
I actually fucking love that scene. It's so fun.
For a superhero movie, it didn't even parody the popular genre thing at that point, which is superhero sports scenes, which are fucking dank usually.
They got it in Sonic. And Sonic 2.
Oh, nice.
Sonic 2 is good. Sonic 2. I'm still thinking about how much I enjoyed Sonic 2 in comparison to the first one.
I don't think I'll ever go out of my way to watch it, but if I ever end up here and you guys are like, let's watch Sonic 2, I'll probably be like,
let's fucking do it.
Why not? I watched Clifford the Big Red Dog and Sonic.
That was pretty good. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I don't even remember what the fuck happened.
Yeah, they want to get rid of him. But then the whole city's like, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
I do remember
because he escaped from the genetic lab or whatever. Or no, I don't think he was.
No, he wasn't.
But they wanted him. They needed him because they're like, with his genetics, we can make super soldiers. Some shit.
Oh, I forgot to mention. I watched episode 1015 of One Piece. That was another thing.
Is it the newest episode? Or?
Yeah, it's adapting chapter 1000 of the manga. And it might be like the best episode of the anime. It's fucking good. They add some stuff in there, like a little spice. I'd recommend checking it out.
Okay, I will. Yeah, but I would say that superhero movie, I would say that it's better than, what did we watch for the podcast? Epic or Disaster?
We watched Epic.
I would say it's better than Epic.
I'd probably
because, like,
agree.
it was really bad, but I wasn't, like, hating my life watching it.
See, I think I'd agree, but if I had to pick one to watch again, I would probably lean towards Epic movie because I don't want to watch a Drake Bell movie ever again.
That's fair.
And as far as I know, no one's really problematic of the Epic movie cast.
I mean, they were in every... Let me look through Epic movie
aside
real
from
quick.
the fact that Kumar worked for Obama.
Yeah, true.
But, I mean, yeah. Compared to what Drake Bell did, take that any day. But yeah. Superhero movie. You know...
Oh, yeah, there was Date movie, too.
Yeah, Date movie was like... I think like the kind of first of like the non-scary movies to come out. It was like... Date movie, this one.
There's 5 we haven't watched. I could pick this for the deep dive.
You could.
I won't. But just remember the power I hold over you.
Oh. Yeah, well, watch out, because I'll pick Roman Polanski or something.
No, I would just actually not watch them. Like, actually, I'll say it now, the directors I've said, like, I won't watch until I die. I just won't. Like, I'll be like, no, I'm vetoing that.
That's fair.
But don't worry, I'm not going to pick those.
Okay, good.
All right. I think you're going to give this one a 1.
I guess, yeah.
A 3? No.
No, it certainly wouldn't be higher. You would give this a 2.
No, I give it a 1.
Oh, okay.
A 10. 1, 0, I meant. 10 out of 10.
I see.
Now let's talk about Surf Party or Endless Bummer.
Aptly titled, because this movie felt like an endless bummer.
I actually don't mind this movie either.
You know,
I think it's bad, but it's a lot better than I expected, I guess.
I don't, for the most part, I don't find it to be atrociously bad, but it was just, it felt like it was kind of caught between two genres that it didn't know what it wanted to be.
It really just felt like it was trying to be SLC Punk, especially with Matthew Lillard in it. I know you haven't seen it, but it's very similar in its ideas. Mm. Endless Bummer is a quick synopsis because it's very quick. A guy is buying a surfboard that's handmade by Matthew Lillard's character. Mm-hmm. He gets it and it's like immediately stolen. And they figure out who took it though. Because Joan Jett is just on the beach. That was Joan Jett. I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't.
And she's just like this person that wanders around. She had like written it in the sand with glass. And they know someone who works at the DMV, so they know where he lives, so they go after him. They go on a road trip, like the whole crew. Mm-hmm. And they go and they get the surfboard back and they beat him up. And they go through this like, this is how our life changed. Through one night. They do one of those little.
They do the Stand By Me. And they even toss in it wasn't about the surfboard. It was about the memories we made along the way.
Journey, yeah.
And it was like, I literally laughed so hard when they said that.
He died. And they're like, this guy, he's fucking dead now.
Well,
there's that one fly. I don't know where this fly came from.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I know it's bothering.
Oh, you're all good. I didn't even really fully register. It's just something flew by, so I was just kind of acting on instinct.
But yeah, like it reminds me of like Stand By Me or SLC Punk, which we will watch. I almost actually just, because I wanted to watch more Matthew Lillard, I'm like, maybe I should just pick like 5 Matthew Lillard movies. But most likely when we do it, I'll just have us watch SLC Punk and Trainspotting, because they're both like movies that are very integral in my high school life.
Yeah. To me, as someone who has not seen SLC Punk, this kind of felt like it was trying to be either like a John Hughes coming of age story or like a sex comedy like American Pie.
And which is like, but the sex comedy stuff just feels so tacked on.
It does.
Like it feels like it wants to be this like genuine like coming of age kind of story. And it's like, we're gonna flash these guys. Wubba-lubba-dub.
There's one part towards the beginning that literally reminds me of like a super mega joke where it's like, it's the blonde one and he's like in there and he's like, you know, having sex with a girl and his mom's like, what are you doing in there?
Mom, give me 5 minutes, I'm having sex.
And she's like, what would the neighbors think if they knew that you were in a room with a girl with your door closed? He's like, they'd think I'm getting laid. And it's just like that. I could picture Ryan McGee saying that to Matt Watson in my mind. And I chuckled at that because of that. But aside from that, I don't think any of the other attempts at humor really landed on
which
me
is
in this.
like it's like I don't think the movie needs it either. Like I think it's just detracts from the story, which I think the story is fine. I think like this, and I think one thing that is like I grew up in Hawaii, so I was surrounded with surf culture, and I was surrounded with like the original surf culture because Polynesians invented surfing.
What?
So it's weird to see like California surf culture because it's so like. It's so obvious how much of it is pulled from there, but then it's just like,
yeah.
So like some of it did just make me feel like nostalgic and like homesick. So I feel like some of that I was just like, yeah, this is kind of a comfy movie, even when it wasn't really trying to be sexy. And I don't even mind like. I don't mind the idea of a sex comedy. I just don't think it's ever executed well.
Yeah, no, like
I don't mind the idea of like any.
I watched a lot of them when I was like 12 because I was like the prime age for that kind of sense of humor. And I can think of ones that I liked back then. Like I remember liking the first American Pie. I liked Road Trip.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'd like any of those movies today. They might be a little too.
You should watch
raunchy for
every
my blood.
American Pie movie.
I mean, if it was just the American Pie movies, I could probably handle it. Now, if you dove into the American Pie Presents category, that's where I would start to be like, I don't know. Because there's like Band Camp, The Naked Mile.
There's the new one.
I mean, I stopped it was like Band Camp, The Naked Mile, and there was like one more. There was like a trilogy of them, and then I stopped watching, and they kept making them because they did like the Book of Love, which is like big in American Pie lore because that's like what like the one guy's older brother has or whatever. I don't know. I haven't watched American Pie in a very long time
because it was American Pie 2, American Wedding, and then American Reunion.
Yes.
Which is like the type of shit I would want to watch.
I love the like, we're old now.
Yeah. I remember watching that, but the only part I remember is like Stifler shits in a cooler at one point.
But it's like, I don't remember. I remember thinking the first American Pie was pretty bad, so I don't think I'd like any of them. But if I were to like one of them, it would probably be the one where they're old now.
I think the first American Pie movie is just really awkward because I think it stems from like sex comedies centered around high schoolers always feels a little awkward. It's like, it's like, why are we making movies about this? Like, I get the essence and I get that they're probably going for that demographic, but like, unless they're like seniors in high school, most of them can't afford to go see those movies by themselves anyway. So it's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Early 2000s. Explain yourself.
So it looks like American Reunion was the last one until 2020 when they made the American Pie Presents Girls Rules.
Oh, really? Yeah. They went that long without making them?
Yeah. Because they were doing one like every 2 years, it seems.
Yeah, because there's Naked Mile. There's like one more.
Band Camp, Naked Mile, Beta House, Book
of Love. That's what it was. And then Book of Love was the one I didn't watch, and apparently the new one. So apparently I've seen most of the American Pie movies. I just assumed that they kept making them, and I just stopped watching. But little did I know it was the other way around. And I didn't watch the last two. But anyway, Endless Bummer. It has... I need to look up his name. Pablo from... Ash versus
Ray something.
It's so funny because I was looking at one of the reviews for this movie and it's like, it's so nice to see like, you know, at least that like there's high schoolers playing high schoolers. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That guy that plays Pablo is like 30 years old in this movie.
Yeah.
He like looks pretty young, but I'm like, he is most obviously not in high school.
And was that, I don't remember the character's name, but was that Josh's girlfriend from Drake and Josh? Like,
yes, it was.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Mindy?
I think it was Mindy.
Yeah, I think it was Mindy too.
In that movie, not this movie. Or in that show.
Yes. Yeah, no, I know it wasn't in this show. Who did she...
Because it was Iris, yeah.
Yeah. She looks a lot different now. Man,
She's a babe.
Looks like she stars in a lot of great movies.
Yeah, like Chastity Bites.
Or Jerry. My name is Jerry, my bad.
Jerry. Yo, Doug Jones is in that movie.
Like the guy who does the makeup?
Yeah. The guy who plays like the fish man, yeah.
Oh, nice.
He's the main character of that movie.
He's in
Ray Santiago is who we were talking about.
Ray Santiago. Yes.
He's really good in Ash vs. Evil Dead. And
he is.
He's like, I will say that I don't mind most of the performances in this movie. Like
he was in Sasquatch Gang? I don't remember him being in that.
He was in what?
The Sasquatch Gang. It's like this weird, like, indie movie with Justin Long.
Oh.
He was in Sex Ed. I saw Sex Ed and I don't remember. I guess I saw a bunch of movies he was in and I don't remember.
I've seen 3 movies he's in, besides this one. I've seen In Time, classic. I've seen Meet the Fockers, which apparently he's in.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And I've seen The Body, which was a Hulu, that's part of the fucking Into the Dark or whatever. It's fucking awful. It's real bad. But so is most of Into the Dark. But anyway, I was saying, I don't mind most of the cast in this movie. I think they're all, like, pretty decent when they're being, like, genuine, when they're doing the genuine stuff. Like the comedy never hits, but that's, like, a writing issue. Yeah,
there is one of the main cast that I really didn't like, but I think that was mainly just the way the characters were in, and it was Sparky or whatever his name is.
The one that died when he was 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I did not care for his character at all.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Like, it just didn't feel like they wanted to do anything with his character either. Like, they were like, oh, he's selling a skateboard. And I'm like, oh, they're going to do something interesting with it. And then they don't do anything else with this information.
Yeah, no, like, I could see what they were going for, because I feel like I knew kids who were kind of like him in high school.
Oh, I most certainly knew a lot.
But, like, I feel like they fucked up the portrayal, because it feels like a very shallow, like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know how to put
I get
what I mean.
Like I said, I think there is, like, the framework for a pretty decent, like, little road trip, like, coming-of-age movie in this. I don't think it's there, but I think because, like, it has an interesting enough framework and the cast is interesting enough, like, it has enough interesting enough choices that I'm like, this movie wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it enough to not hate my life. Also, Matthew Lillard is good in it. I really like his character. Because he's like a weirdo.
I must say, I could feel Ray Santiago giving it his all.
Yeah.
It felt like Matthew Lillard was just there.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because, like, I've known people exactly like this character.
I had that thought process where it's like, is he doing, like, the surfer dude, like, relaxed? Or is he just not giving it any effort? And I felt like what I was picking up on was a lack of effort. But clearly, obviously, I'm not the judge of what Matthew Lillard puts into his projects. But
but that's fair. I felt more like that it was just like a laid back, like, persona, but that's fair if you weren't feeling it. I didn't think it was like astounding to the point that it was like, no, I'm gonna argue with you on this. I was like, it's pretty fine, it's pretty decent, pretty good. But yeah, they get the surfboard back. He gets a punch. He like fights the guy, but then Sparky shows up and he has to fight him, even though he's very drunk. And then they go home, and he says his life story.
Yeah.
Sparky died.
Sparky died.
And I'm like, excuse me?
My girlfriend that I didn't take seriously eventually found a guy who took her seriously. We're good friends. I have a wife and a kid, but I'm also like a beach burnout.
No,
so
I still surf every day.
But like, I like the general kind of like, or what I'm assuming was the main theme of the movie, in which it's like, life puts pressure on you. Everyone wants to be somebody, but you don't need to be somebody big. Sometimes you can just stay rooted and do whatever suits you. Yeah. And it's like, I think that that's a pretty decent thing to put in your movie.
And like Matthew Lillard's character is a good example because he's like, nobody knows him outside of this like beach, but like this town, he's a legend.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like the ideal person you would want to be in this like growing up here is like, yeah, he is successful enough. He has a wife and kids. Like he made it. He didn't burn out. He didn't like die. Because a lot of the trouble in these types of towns is you get like addicted to drugs or something. You get addicted to partying, and then you lose all your money or you die or something.
We forgot the most crucial part. His board is destroyed.
His board is destroyed at the very end by gentrifiers.
Yeah, and then he's just like, yeah, that's when the whole like, it wasn't about the board.
It's about the journey.
Yeah, and it's just.
And then I think he goes and gives the tip of the board to Dell for her weird, like, sand sculpture thing.
I don't know if he does. I think
he just walks over there.
He talks to her, but I think because he walks away and he still had it. Because I remember thinking, it was like, was he going to give that to her? Because I figured she was going to, like, do a little shrine for it or something, but, like, nah, I'm pretty sure he held on to it as a memento of that night he would never forget.
And then there are scenes that I'm like, why the fuck was this in? Like, the girls randomly getting sexually assaulted and Ray Santiago having to save them. Like, that wasn't needed. That threw off the
More
tone. Like
the girls got sexually assaulted and then they needed to save Ray Santiago.
That's true. Well, he had to distract them for a second.
Yeah.
To go, oh, see.
There's that. I did like the gas station boogie scene. That was really weird. But I was like, I don't know what's going on and why they're like swing dancing at the gas station with the fuel pump penises, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Those kind of scenes are just like, this is fine. This is fun enough. Like, this is... It feels weird, but it feels like a genuine thing you would just see random, like, stoner dudes doing.
I don't agree, but...
Okay. I mean, I've seen people do things like that.
Yeah, I guess I'm just more...
Maybe it's just me. Maybe I would be doing that.
I could see you doing that. I don't know if you'd go quite as full as they did, but I could see you doing something akin to that.
Only if I was high.
But, yeah. Endless bummer. Surf party.
Yeah. Also, it feels nothing like a National Lampoon movie.
No, this is from like kind of the end of, because I don't think they made many movies after this.
This was like 2012, right?
Yeah,
2013, something like
that. This is definitely when they were on their way out the door, and yeah, they just.
Also, it was apparently produced by the Vans Warped Tour as well.
Yes, I saw that.
Or at least they had something to do with it. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what they would have gotten out of it to put into it, but maybe Matthew Lillard just came and, like, performed live or something. What he would have performed at.
Hey, have you seen National Lampoon's The Legend of Awesomest Maximus?
No.
I hope you're ready for next.
No. I don't know if I could spitball the national, because I've seen like the vacation movies clearly, and then
It was 2009 this movie came out.
oh yeah, Animal House. I don't know. There's not really any other national. I guess like Van Wilder. I think National Lampoon did some of those like early like comedies from like Happy Madison. I think. Isn't like Grandma's Boy like a National Lampoon movie? I
don't think so.
I might be crossing wires there, more or less. But yeah, I don't know. National Lampoon.
Anyway, I think you'd give Endless Bummer a 3? 2?
Yeah, it's somewhere in there. 2, 3. Let's call it a high 2. Low 3. High 2. You would give this a 4.
Yeah, I think so. We did it! We made it through Bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my director deep dive, we're actually just going to watch 6 Bag. No, I'm just fucking...
The finale already?
So, I picked a director who I haven't seen any of his movies, which is probably going to be surprising to you, I think. But I know you've seen at least one of the 5 I picked here. He also has a new movie coming out in like 3 months. I picked David Cronenberg. You've seen The Fly, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's funny? I organized my horror shelf, and this whole week I was like, I kind of want to watch David Cronenberg. Like, I was thinking about watching Shivers or Rabid, because those are the 2 that I own. I also own Videodrome. But.
Okay. Well, we're going to be watching Videodrome. Have you seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to be watching Videodrome. This is from earliest to newest. The Fly. Naked Lunch. Existence. Which I've heard is very weird. And then History of Violence. So how many of these movies have you watched? Just
the 2.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and he seems like a director I'd really enjoy.
Yeah, he's real hit and miss with me from what I've seen.
Okay. Do you like Videodrome and The Fly, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't big on Rabid, which is his second movie.
Okay.
For some reason, I thought I had seen that one with you, like I had picked it for one of our movie clubs. It's a zombie movie where she's got like a little like...
Yeah, I see it.
You get infected by like a weird little belly button, like scorpion tail kind of thing. It's a really strange kind of movie.
I have not seen this movie. And then did you say there was another movie you weren't too hot on from him? Or is it just... how many movies have you seen from him? Just those 3, or? Just
those 3. I have Shivers, which is his first movie, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So, hopefully these 5 will make you be like, yeah, Cronin! And his new movie, Crimes of the Future, whatever, also has Viggo Mortensen, so that's why I picked History of Violence. And it only had a teaser, but I'm like, hell yeah, that looks fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll enjoy that. I did almost pick a full director, but I'm like, no, Thomas doesn't deserve that. I want to do something for Thomas for once.
Well, thank you.
Because eventually I'll be like, Thomas, you want to come over and hang out? And you'll get here. I'll lock the door and be like, okay, we're watching Shoah, the 9-hour Holocaust documentary. You have to watch it with me because no one else will watch it with me, and I don't want to watch that movie alone because I'll just be crying. And I feel like that's a documentary I need to watch with someone, but it's 9 hours, so nobody wants to watch it with me.
That's a long time.
We can watch it right now.
Fuck, now I worked in the morning.
Fuck. Okay. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next week for episode 139 of Screen Weens.
Yeah.